We are at the end of the presentation for today. So once again, I would like to thank all the speakers for their materials and their presentation. Time is almost over, but maybe we have time for a couple of questions. In any case, we will be happy to collect offline the question if you wish, and we can redistribute them to the speakers of today. That's a possible option, but maybe a time for a couple of questions. No?
There are some questions in the chat, so maybe the people that are making it, they can open their mics.
Or alternatively, Xavier, you go over the chat.
Over the chat. Oh yeah, okay. I see. Okay, I see a few questions in the chat. So the first one was for maybe Benoît Lebeau. So I'm reading in the chat. When you talk about transition to electric vehicles, do you mean the acquisition of new vehicles or the modification of existing vehicle? And what would this energy transition look like? Benoît, if you're still around.
I'm still around. Can you hear me well?
Yes, it's okay, Benoît.
You can hear me well? Okay.
Yes.
Good. We know that the future will be mobility will be run by electricity mostly, but not entirely. We know that we will still need some biogas maybe, or for some long distance haul, we will have to adapt. We haven't talked much about hydrogen. But, what can I say? We, as you can see on dynamic charging, we don't know exactly the future. There is no certainties. We are exploring different options. Our ministry is sponsoring some of the research currently being implemented, and I'm in charge of international affairs, so I'm following what's going on elsewhere, and all the countries are trying to explore different options, but the truth is not written for sure in marble for the time being. So I don't have the question in front of me. So for some reason I got disconnected and I reconnected, but I lost the chat. I saw several questions to me. I saw one question for a colleague from Norway regarding the fact that in Norway you also introduce some rebate scheme and penalty according to the weight of the car. What I forgot to say is that we also will introduce a rebate, fee and penalty according to the carbon footprint of the car. So a car being produced in a country where the carbon footprint is very high for the industry, we no longer receive a rebate from the French authorities. So it's not only a question of weight, but it's also of the carbon footprint, the weight, if you want, of carbon. Maybe you can rephrase me the question, Xavier, because I don't have them in front of me.
So I'm going to read it again. I would be interested to understand what France is. Oh no, sorry. So that was another one. So the first one is yes. I would be interested to understand what France is thinking regarding decreasing the demand for consumer goods delivery. Are there specific measures in place currently, or is it just a goal at this stage?
It's clear an objective to try to avoid any unnecessary mobility of individuals or goods. And this is what we call sufficiency, frugality, Mr. Dole said earlier. We are definitely in that mood. What we are missing maybe for that is to have the right data in front of us to take the decision, to have the, how do you call that, the, the intensity and the data. So one thing that we are currently supporting is to develop a common metrics. You know that in the European Commission there is a Count EU scheme, and we are exploring how we can encourage a common way of assessing the carbon footprint and developing the tool that would help the policymakers, but also the industry, the transporters, people in charge of it, to have a view of their carbon footprint in real time. And we think that this type of accounting will help. There is a pretty good method that exists and tool for long distance and so maybe 90% of the carbon footprint can be assessed. But we are still missing some connection for the last miles. And it's not easy for anyone, for a transporter, to have an exact carbon footprint. So we are currently encouraging activities to assess the carbon footprint. And by doing so, we think anyone will have a better idea of how to better organize the delivery of goods, the transport from goods. You see what I mean? The knowledge of the footprint, the carbon footprint, will help the decision. And personally, I'm confident that the digitalization of the world, the digitalization of all aspects of transport can help a great deal to make sure that we will optimize in a better way. Who knows? Maybe artificial intelligence can really help, organize the best route and all that. We know that there is a lot of empty trucks still circulating at some level, and this is what we want to avoid. So it is a goal, it is an objective. We are working on it. It's going to be indirect through maybe some special tool to assess carbon footprint. And let's work hand in hand. And this is where I see that there is a need for international collaboration. No country has a solution yet. So this is why it's great to have a collaboration like the one you are experimenting. So this is the answer to the question.
Thank you, Benoit, and maybe this will be the conclusion word, the importance of international and also European collaboration. So since we are over time, I suggest that we close. I saw some question answered in the chat by Pierre. Thank you, Pierre. And again, if you have some other question, you can send it to us, and we will be happy to redistribute the questions. So I don't know, Fernando, Pablo, I can hand over to you.
On my side, just thanking you, Xavier, and all the speakers for having prepared these presentations, and looking forward to continue the collaboration also with Marcia and the team from Electric Mobility Europe. And for sure, we will reconnect on some questions pending, and potentially getting more information on some of the initiatives that you have presented. Marcia? Or Peter, if it's there as well.
Yep, Peter is also there. Yeah. We are also looking forward to keep the collaboration. We are going to discuss how to keep the series of workshops very soon. And thank you so much. It's the only thing that I want to say to our speakers, and especially to Xavier for organizing the whole content of the workshop. And of course, Fernando and Pablo, it's always a pleasure to cooperate with you. Thank you.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day then.
Have a good day.